So some very important updates and data have been revealed for Dogecoin and Bitcoin, and it appears that a massive price pump is pretty much on cards. So talk about it and see what exactly is happening. First of all, we can see here that the crypto market has almost recovered from the recent crash that happened right after Russia invaded Ukraine, and we can see here that Bitcoin and altcoins have been trading in the green for the last 24 hours. Moreover, we are now seeing that the prices of Doge, Bitcoin, and others are expected to surge in the second half of this year, and as per Matt Haugen from Bitwise Asset Management, the current dip in crypto prices is temporary. He believes that all the negative factors that have been affecting the prices of cryptos are going to fade away sooner, and he believes that the crypto market is now actually setting up for an extraordinarily strong second half of the year. Moreover, he has predicted that Bitcoin could hit new all-time highs on the back of positive developments for it and the wider crypto space. Another important thing I want to mention here is that Shark Tank star and renowned investor Kevin O'Leary has predicted that the crypto industry will become the 12th sector of the S&P 500 index in the next few years. So for those who don't know, the S&P 500 index is a stock market index that tracks the performance of the top 500 publicly traded companies listed on stock exchanges in the U.S., and currently, it sorts the publicly traded companies into 11 sectors based on their primary business activity. So Kevin predicting that the crypto market is going to become the 12th sector of the index is a big thing because if it happens, we will be seeing a massive number of investors coming to the crypto market. And now before I talk about if Bitcoin is going to pump in the coming days, let's see its current price movements. So after suffering a fatal setback right after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Bitcoin appears to be back on track as it has shed off most of its recent losses, and as of now, it is holding its support level. And although the technical indicators of Bitcoin are still sitting in the bearish zone, I think it can still manage to show more positive trending in the coming days. Meanwhile, some important data is now showing us that Bitcoin is now ready to extend this recovery in the coming days, and it is going to reclaim support over the 42K range. So we are now seeing that the on-chain volume for Bitcoin spiked by about 13.7 billion on 19 February to 46.3 billion on 24 February, and this surge happened when the price of Bitcoin crashed to the 34K price level. So the point is that this spike in the on-chain volume for Bitcoin is alone enough to indicate that there was high interest among crypto investors for this dip, and this means that there is accumulation going on for Bitcoin. So this bullish behavior of investors is expected to drive the price of Bitcoin to the 42K price level. So this was the short-term outlook for Bitcoin. Now if we see its long-term outlook, it appears that Bitcoin's price is going to pump over the long run. We can see here that crypto analyst and investor Steve shared this tweet last month, and he was saying that Bitcoin is having a macro uptrend in a sideways consolidation that is oversold and its support and on a longer time frame. And now he has tweeted this, and he is saying that he is still believing in his conviction for support in this parallel channel. He is saying that this running correction for Bitcoin has been long, but it has been trending higher, and he thinks that it is the most bullish corrective pattern there is for Bitcoin. So what exactly it means is that Bitcoin is going through an extended corrective phase, but it hasn't hit the top of this cycle, and we can see here on this chart that Bitcoin is poised to rally up from here. And as per this chart, it appears that Bitcoin is going to go over the 100K mark during this cycle, and it is going to happen in the 2022 and 2023 periods. Now another important thing is that I know that some investors are still worried about the ongoing Russian-Ukrainian conflict, but it appears that even if this conflict escalates, Bitcoin and cryptos may not get hampered by it. So we can see here on this chart from 1913 to 2009, a lot of intense geopolitical events happened, and we can see here that with every event, the consumer price index or inflation skyrocketed. But the key thing to note here is that stocks like the Dow Jones weren't affected by all these events. In fact, this chart is clearly showing us that markets continued to grow over the years. So if history is any guide, we can say that traditional markets are going to grow and remain unaffected from geopolitical issues, and since Bitcoin and cryptos are now highly correlated with equities, we can expect the crypto market to grow over the years. And another thing that can help Bitcoin to extend its recovery from here is that a majority of Bitcoin holders are not selling their holdings. So crypto analyst Will Clement has just revealed that about 76.5% of Bitcoin's supply hasn't moved in at least 6 months, and this is now a new record for Bitcoin. So what exactly it means is that about 76% of Bitcoin's supply is held by entities with a low tendency to sell, and this means that Bitcoin is going to see fewer sell-offs in the future. Importantly, it is highly likely that this number is going to increase, so we can expect a lot less effective sell-offs for Bitcoin, and this means that Bitcoin's price is not only going to grow in the long term, it is also going to show less volatility. Meanwhile, Mike McGlone, senior commodity strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, has once again stated that the price of Bitcoin is still on track to hit the 100K. McGlone doesn't think that Bitcoin will get much below 30K this year despite severe bearish pressure, and he has predicted that Bitcoin is on its way to becoming the global digital reserve asset. Moreover, he believes that Bitcoin is still in the price discovery process, and although Bitcoin doesn't play a major role in investors' portfolios, for now, its adoption is picking up, and this is exactly why he thinks that Bitcoin is still on track to hit the 100K. And seeing the current global market conditions and the ongoing Russian-Ukrainian conflict, Mike McGlone has stated that buying opportunities remain for investors. And he thinks that investors who can overcome their fear, uncertainty, and doubt and buy into Bitcoin now might reap major rewards in the future. He said that people should remember this for a lot of positions, and this is a tremendous opportunity, most notably for people who have maybe raised a little bit of cash. Now, another thing that I think is going to help Bitcoin's price pump in the long term is that it is now highly likely that the SEC is going to approve a Bitcoin spot ETF. This is because we are now seeing that SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce has recently stated that she is still amazed that there hasn't been an approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF yet. She has clashed with SEC Chair Gensler over crypto enforcement actions, and she has called for a light regulatory approach and urged the agency to approve an ETF based on spot prices for Bitcoin. So since the Commissioner of SEC is now backing the idea of a spot Bitcoin ETF, it is now highly likely that it is going to happen, and once it happens, Bitcoin will see a lot of institutional investment and its price will surge in the long term. In any case, I'd like to remind you that this isn't financial advice and I'm not a financial advisor. So I'd suggest that you do proper research before investing anything into crypto. And with that being said, let's come to Dogecoin for a minute. So we are now seeing that Dogecoin is clearly showing some strength after its price plunged during the recent crash. I know that this is not a massive surge, but considering the recent crash, the trading trend of Doge during the last 48 hours has impressed me a lot, and I'm happy to see it trading in the green again because it has done so in a relatively short period of time and during a time of uncertainty. And since we have just seen that Bitcoin is going to pump in the long term, I think Doge is going to follow suit since it has happened in the past. So the overall sentiment for Doge is still very positive. And now, let's come to some important updates for cryptos. So BNY Mellon, America's oldest bank, has recently partnered with Chainalysis to integrate a compliance software suite to monitor and analyze crypto products. And as per the official announcement, the move is part of the bank's strategy to offer crypto services to its clients, and it has been revealed that the integration will allow it to track the assets of the custody services it will offer clients. So the key thing to note here is that BNY Mellon is going to offer crypto services to its clients, and this is positive news since it will increase crypto adoption in the future. And as per another report, the Pacific nation of Tonga is going to accept Bitcoin as legal tender by the second quarter of 2023. Moreover, the country is also going to kickstart Bitcoin mining operations by the third quarter of 2023. So this is yet another very positive news, since not only another country is now going to accept Bitcoin, the Bitcoin mining operation is also going to increase. So this is very bullish news for Bitcoin and cryptos. And now coming back to Dogecoin, I know that its price has stayed on the low side for the last couple of months. But this corrective period has remained for the overall market, and since it is now expected that Bitcoin is going to rally up in the long term, we can expect the same for Doge. So let's see what transpires in the future. In any case, what are your thoughts on this? When do you think Bitcoin and Dogecoin are going to move up from here? Let me know in the comment section below.